right, welcome back, Last Request Barbecue, the barbecue show where what I cook could be your last request. Very special cook today. We're doing a Creole buttermilk chicken. I've been to New Orleans. What a great town. I've been there, it was a long time ago, probably 20 years, and never seen anything quite like it. If you ever get the chance, certainly go to New Orleans. Great music, great food. And I took a cooking class when I was there, and I bought the book from La Bouche Creole. The recipes in here, I've made 10 or 20 of these recipes, and they're just passed down from generation to generation in New Orleans. Of course, there's a very strong LeBlanc contingent Acadians who moved down into the New Orleans, which is why there's so many French, as the French went out of Canada and went down south into the States. And of course, there are already some people from France in the US, but there's a lot of Acadians in New Orleans, so I felt pretty much at home. My dad is from New Brunswick, so I'm Acadian myself. So we're gonna get cooking. So buttermilk, sour cream, tomatoes, chives, dill, all kinds of seasoning that are just gonna turn this in to a delicious meal. Now I'm making a few changes to it. One of the changes I'm making is in the original recipe, they basically fry the chicken in lard or butter to get it going. I'm gonna put it on the Yoder smoker and cook it that way, probably a little bit better and adds a little more smoky flavor. So that's the only one change. The rest, I'm pretty much gonna follow the recipe though. So let's see where it takes us and let's get started. All right, first things first, the Yoder's already on. I got the Yoder set for 350. This meal should take about a half hour, 45 minutes in total. It sits, once you're done, together for about 25 minutes. So let's first of all prep the chicken, because that's our first step, get that chicken on. These are actually fairly small pieces, 1, 2, 3, one for my mom, maybe another small piece there. Just do a quick inspection of the chicken. Nice pieces, they look fine. Oop, a little bit of junk there. I don't want, but that's not too bad. All right, so what I'm gonna do with these, I'm gonna put some avocado oil on it. Again, this is not following the recipe per se. Comme ça. A little bit of salt and pepper, just like kind of a dash, because the spice I'm gonna use already has salt in it, so I don't wanna over salt. I'm gonna use this Cattleman's Grill, which I really love, the Ranchero. Perfect for poultry. I put it on the turkey, and it really goes well onto our onto chicken. So I'm gonna, and again, this is different from, different than the recipe. You can see actually, these large chunks of salt, which in and of itself is okay. You don't want your spices, too salt, and you can make your own if you want less salt, but you don't over salt by adding salt and adding the cattleman's spice, because there's a fair bit of salt in it. Now these pieces will absorb that just fine. We'll be fine. So let's put a little more olive oil here. Kind of acts as a binder as well, so that our seasoning sticks. And that'll add some beautiful seasoning and flavor. All right, once again, Cattleman's Ranchero. And let's get this onto the Yoder. All right, our chicken is on the Yoder. First step is an onion, and actually there's another thing I'm going to add to this recipe, a shallot. I brought up a shallot as well. I thought it would benefit a little bit from a shallot, but otherwise this part is pretty sticking to the norm. Let me put that over there. So this is where, our new ensemble cookware, nice silicone handle. So this pot's been on here, this pan, I'm going to cook it in this pan. I've just washed it up. Ordinarily, it's not exactly on the direct heat, but it's probably a little bit hot. Yep. So let's check this out, this functionality here. Real world applications. Move the lever back. There we go. Get a little balance there. Oh, there we go. Look at that. I love that. And then we'll take the handle out, and then I'll just move it back. But when I want to move it or take it inside the house, there you go. Very nice. Beautiful. All right. Love it. I'm gonna put this handle somewhere handy. Got to get used to, having the handle handy. Of course, the difference is with all these pots not having replaceable handles, they take up a whole lot of less space. So yeah, I'm kind of interested to continue to explore and discover that. All right, now let's get our onion chopped up. One onion chopped up, chopped fairly fine. Fresh Canadian, actually, onions, which I kind of look for now, as there's been a few, scares. I trust the grocers, put on the shelf only what is safe and take off what the shelf is not. But, again, as I always say, if I can buy from Canada, I will. If I can make a choice and buy from Ontario, I will, just because it gets local, but I'm not too fussed about that. Now here, what can I do? Because I don't have a handle, I'm going to just pop that in. Very nice. All right, I might leave that on, actually. All right, we'll let that cook away. Okay, our onions have been on for a good 5 minutes. Actually, they could use a little bit of oil here. I don't want those to burn. Salt and pepper actually is one of the steps, so let's add some S&P, salt and pepper, and that way the onions will absorb it. All right, to that, we add 1 1/4 cup of buttermilk, a 1/4 teaspoon of sugar, not that much, a can, it says 1 pound of tomatoes. I'm adding this, I guess it's 1 pound. 700, I don't know. Anyway, San Marzano tomatoes. Now the recipe calls to add in some pepper sauce. I'm going to add in Mario's piri piri sauce. Let's see how that all comes together. That's a good pour, I guess. Love the Mario's. Adds a nice kick to any meal. And then this sits for about 25 minutes. Now I want to move the chicken here sooner than later. So let's get this to a boil, because part of this is that the chicken is sitting, once cooked or 3/4 cooked, in and amongst buttermilk, which softens it up and does wonderful things for chicken. So while that's cooking, it's going to simmer for about half an hour. So why don't we prep the next thing? So once that's ready, we're going to put in a cup of sour cream. It's a very rich, beautiful dish. Let's call that a cup. We need onions, green onions, and some parsley and some dill. The dill is actually, I had already sliced a little bit of extra dill from the Curb Your Enthusiasm Palestinian chicken, so I'm going to just put that in. That's all thawing out quite nicely. And then half a lemon. And let's get chopping. And then by the time this is all done, we'll go hook up our thermometers to our chicken and see how we're progressing. Like I said, I want to finish it in here. That way you take advantage of the deliciousness of both the sour cream and the buttermilk softening up and what it does for the chicken. All right, that is for the finishing line. That's when we get to the finishing line. So right now, that's been in for about 15 minutes, so another 15 minutes to go. So let's go check out our chicken. Okay, I've just pulled this chicken off of the Yoder, and it is perfect. Smoky, got a delicious aroma to it, but not quite finished. That's okay. So it's averaging about 150. From a temperature perspective, of course, we want it in the 165 or a little better. So it will finish in our sauce. So let's just grab our sauce over here and nest these in, and it will finish amongst all that goodness in this. As I said in the original recipe, they fry up the chicken to get it browned, but in my recipe, in our recipe, we are smoking on the Yoder, adds a delicious smoke flavor, and then adding in and finishing the cook in here for about another, I'd say another 15 minutes, and let that cook away. All right. So while our chicken is cooking, I'm just reading through some of the product literature that came with our pot set. Of course, I'm kind of a little bit of a, let's start using it before reading the instructions, but I was curious as to whether this silicone handle should be exposed over the direct heat. But in here, it does talk about attach and detach, and do not cook with it in the oven. Detach while cooking. All right, no problem. We'll just keep it here. What I also love about it, it's nice and flat. So it sits flat, it's not rolling anywhere. I love that. So, oh, this is interesting. So the lids, while cooking and upright, the knob is cooler to touch than traditional designs. So this is flat, but when you have it up cooking, this gets, according to this literature, not as hot as a traditional lid, I guess because of the way it's not directly connected. That's interesting, and then lies flat. Beautiful. I mean, this set's really perfect for me because I'm kind of, I keep some of my cookware outside, a lot of it actually, and I'm running out of space. So space is actually becoming a pretty big premium for me. And having the ability to have all these pots out here at the ready just saves me going back and forth. So, it's really could have a great impact, a little more speed. All right, cool. All right, I just checked the temperature. It is perfect. It looks already delicious, smells amazing. Now to add a few of the last things for another 5 minutes, we add the parsley, the chopped onions, we add our sour cream. All right, that was a cooking musical interlude for the evening. Hope you enjoyed it. Dill, add in our dill. Come on out of there. Come on out of there, you dill. It's coming out of the freezer, so it's a bit reluctant to make its appearance. A lemon. Half a lemon, half a squeeze of a half a lemon. There we go. We'll need to mix all this up again. All right, let's mix all this up. And then we will be done. All right, we'll let that go for another couple of minutes. All right, and we are done. This looks amazing. Let's bring it over here and have a look. Wow. Check this out. Look at that. Just amazing. Creole Cajun chicken, buttermilk, sour cream. Delicious. Enjoy. Bon appetit. Well, that's Italian, actually, so, you know, good eating.